Welcome to Antelope Point near Antelope Point Marina of Lake Powell. I thought I would take a different approach at sharing my review and experience of the new Waydoo Flyer EVO series by taking you along on a day-by-day or part-by-part video series. Here we have the Waydoo Flyer EVO Max and Pro Plus. On the Max we have the shorter mast, 27 inches, and the jet is installed. And inside the jet you'll see that the blades and functional parts are exactly the same as that of the Waydoo Flyer 1, as well as the blades of the folding prop are exactly the same. However, they are not compatible between the two different series, the 1 and the EVO. Check out my review of the folding prop as shown above. The first time I saw the large EVO Max, I was curious if it would fit into a typical passenger car the same way as I have fit all of my eFoils into my Camry, and I can confirm that it does indeed fit. And before I get too far into the video, I'd like to mention that the gear was provided by friends Adventure Elevated, a store and school in Utah.
Sounds like the jet I remember.
Yeah, it is louder.
Once it gets up, it'll be quieter. It takes a lot to get it up and flying, but once it's up and flying, it's good.
Oh wow, that's amazing! Yeah.
I can still hear you loud and clear too.
Before starting this eFoil glide together, we installed both of the new propulsion systems, and I pointed out how similar, if not exact, the functional parts were to the previous generation of Waydoo eFoils, and I made some theories and predictions that they would respond in kind as well. And here I'm testing out the breach recovery forgiveness of the folding prop, and it too is responding the same way as what I experienced on the Flyer 1. With a bit of a sharp drop at first, but quick recovery afterwards. Now that I've had a taste, I'm familiar with the function of things and the length of the long mast, I'm going to get my surf on. As I like to say, the quickest path to zen or fun is the surfy one. For the next minute, I have blended videos from two different cameras, my Insta360 on the end of my 6-foot video pole that I'm holding, as well as cell phone footage from the shore.
Or you could just remember the kilometers.
When Tim says I haven't maxed it out yet, he's referring to the top speed of the jet. As mentioned earlier, I had theories and predictions about the performance of both propellers based on their similarities of the previous generation. And so he and I are currently trying the maximum speed of both propellers. When testing the maximum speed and pushing the limits and performance of an eFoil, I like to do so in sitting position. I am most confident and in control in sitting position. I can also use my feet skimming the surface to discern my elevation. And speaking of elevation, although both of these boards are the Plus models, which indicates that they have the flight assist sensors and technology, the flight assist was not used during this video. Also, while sitting, my center of gravity is lower, and in the event of a crash, crashes are generally more in control and forgiving, less likely to fall into any of the hardware, for example. But I'm very happy and pleased to report that the folding prop on the EVO can withstand all sorts of pressure with feet dragging, hard turns, and everything I could throw at it, which I will be testing even more in a later video.
43 kilometers is the highest I got.
Yeah?
Whatever 43 kilometers is. 29 miles per hour maximum speed, it says. So I got 29. Wow, it's exactly the same. I was really banking on that theory because on the Waydoo Flyer 21 is at gear 19. So there's still 5 more gears on the Flyer 1 to go faster, but it doesn't. So it's all about the volume of water going into the shielding of the jet is maxed out. Just can't push any more in there. Woo! Going through someone else's path is always such a weird sensation. Especially when you're riding switch.
Come along with us as we safely navigate the Antelope Canyon at slow, mellow speeds, taking the turns wide, enjoying the glassy waters in the off-season. But what I want you to really pay attention to as well is just how quiet the operation is on the motors of these eFoils to better enjoy the surroundings of these canyons.
I think it's 66, it's the green oval. Okay, I'm at 66. Oh, okay, I see, it's board shaped, slightly. Okay. This is the last bit. Yeah, big shelf on the right, so. Yeah, if you constantly like moving your fingers, then you'll keep your fingers warm. So you can kind of just, your trigger hand, you can change the acceleration a little bit here and there. You can move your pinky and your other fingers independently of the others while still gripping the handle. And then your other hand, you just keep making like pumping a fist.
And this goes to a super narrow slit that the highway goes over, or no?
The same one, but not the same section of it.
All right.
All right, let's get this gray bus. Oh, we can call this the Greyhound.
There you go. I love it.
The Greyhound bus.
The Greyhound bus.
Oh, I think I might Superman out of here.
Okay, go for it.
Oh wow, like you can kind of like feel the vibration. That's wild. Of your body weight distribution when you're laying down, and yet I'm reaching this sucker and just staying going like it's nothing. Woo! Oh yeah! Woo! Woo!
On the ride back, I began to notice that every time I passed through the eFoil path in front of me, I was less affected. Possibly the jet may be repackaging all of the water in front of it and producing the same thrust regardless of the currents and turbulation in front. But I would need to test this more to prove if that's really the case or not.
Breach recovery on that one is not easy though. You gotta get ready to get on your back foot as soon as you breach. This is the Superman machine. Superman is awesome.
The larger size of the Evo Max definitely makes riding in any position super easy, even starting out, especially if you had the inflatable flyer pod installed as well. But it is heavier and more swing weight.
Take the turn wide. The Big Easy Greyhound bus. This is exactly the setup that needs to be used for beginners as long as they're not too heavy for it.
Well, it was 61. That's the water temperature.
Oh yeah? No problem with submerging the board. I don't know what happened on that one. Wing breach or cavitation, I don't know. 21, top speed. Woo! Whoa. Wing breaches are something to get used to on the 1500.
Allow me to correct that statement. Wing breaches, tip rips, wing salutes, and other names that they go by is not something to get used to on the gliding 1500, but rather something to avoid. And you will hear disturbance on the surface of the water as a breach is imminent, and you can avoid it that way by listening to the sound. This wing is a really fantastic wing, super stable and very efficient. Lots of mileage on this wing. But I took it as a challenge nonetheless to see if I could get those wing salutes, and I got a bit overconfident, as you'll see.
Woo! shots on the big board! It's hard to maintain a wing breach. Gotta keep those toes up.
Having too much fun, I did a few more wing salutes, although maybe not totally intentional. The shorter mast does bring the wings closer to the surface after all, and a nice crash to finish off the video. And just a reminder, the EVO Max Plus had the short mast with 1500 gliding wing and jet installed. The EVO Pro Plus had the long mast, Voyager 1100 wing and folding prop. Both of these eFoils had the 320 gliding wing stabilizer, and we had mixed speeds and mixed riding styles, switching between the two boards, and got about 14 miles with 1.5 hours on the larger battery installed on both and the performance motor. Live life to the Foilest. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and all the rest of the good stuff so you'll know when the next video is posted. Again, the intent is to post a more day-to-day or part-by-part basis so that they'll be more rapidly posted back-to-back. And a big thanks and shout out to Adventure Elevated for providing the gear. All future videos in this series will be focusing on the Waydoo Flyer EVO Pro Plus.